Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast started by two Formula One nerds. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your Camaro host, Luigi. And today we're taking you back to the 1960s decade, part 2, who are our top 5 drivers of the 60s. Let's go. So now we're into the controversial part, our top 5.
Yes.
And this was so hard to do.
I know. It would have been so much easier to do a top 10 because I've got 5 honourable mentions. So
I've got 4.
It would have just been easy to put in as a top 10, but we decided to do a top 5.
Yeah, I agree. I think we had to do this to ourselves. I remember when you said top 5, I was like, that's ridiculous. No, I didn't want to do it because I thought it was wrong. And now I think it is right because it forced us to make hard decisions.
It does. Yes. It's almost too easy to do a top 10 of a decade. I think you've got to do a top 10 of all time, then you're struggling. But yeah. Okay. So how are we going to do this? We'll do 5 to 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll do alternate.
Do we mention who we left out?
Okay, let's do honourable mention. Oh no, but then we give away who's not in the top 10.
No, anyway. We're only giving away who's not in our top 5. That's all.
Sorry, we give away who's not in the top 5.
That's okay.
Okay. All right. You go.
So do you want to do one each of our honourable mentions? Because I haven't numbered them. They're just left out.
Same. Yep.
Yeah. So do you want to go first?
All right.
Beauty before, was it?
Just stop, Luigi.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. My first honourable mention is Bruce McLaren. And like I said, these are in no particular order. They're just, Look, he was always up there. He was a very solid driver of the 60s, but didn't make my top 5 in that he never really took a race by the scruff of the neck. He didn't ever really dominate, any aspect of a race. Did he ever get pole? I don't even remember him getting pole. Maybe once, maybe.
I think he did, but in fact, Piastri, we're talking about the 2025 Chinese Grand Prix. I think that was the record of Bruce McLaren because McLaren got 7 front rows before he got a pole, and Piastri got 7 front rows before he got a pole.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
so he must have got one. Is my answer.
He was my honourable. Yeah. Okay. So yes, he's an honourable mention for me. I think he was very solid. He was a talented driver, but I don't know that you kind of put him in your top 5, like top ever drivers.
Yeah, and I'm formally disagreeing with you. Just saying. I really like Bruce. I really like Bruce McLaren, but I don't think he was even in this category to be mentioned in this way.
So you didn't even put him in as your honourable mention?
No, I didn't even get it. He didn't even get that, even though I really like him because he wasn't that. When I look at who else I got honourable mentions, that's why he didn't make it. Yeah.
All right. So okay, you go then.
One of my honourable mentions, I'll start straight away with a controversial one, was Dennis Hulme, who won the 1967 championship. I thought if Brabham was more ruthless, Hulme wouldn't have won it in 67, is all I'm saying. I think Hulme was like a better version of Bruce McLaren, hence why he's in my honourable mentions, because at least he won races and won a championship. He got a championship because Brabham let him have it.
Oh, that's harsh. I think that's harsh. Oh, yeah, interesting.
If Brabham played the boss card, he would have said, no, you're number 2 driver.
Yeah, but he didn't do that.
No, he didn't. So that's why.
In 1967, though, Brabham was nowhere. Like, he didn't really challenge. So I think Denny Hulme only really got like maybe 1 race win during that year. He had lots of 2s and 3s, and that's how he won that championship. I just think his consistency was much higher level than Bruce McLaren. He won a championship.
And that's why he's in my left out, not Bruce McLaren.
All right. Well, I'm formally disagreeing with you.
Okay. Duly noted.
Right. I'm gonna go controversial as well now. One of my other honourable mentions is Dan Gurney.
I'm agreeing with that. I've got him too.
Okay.
You go first.
Yeah. Look, I struggled. I really wanted to put him in my top 5, but I couldn't leave anyone out. Like the 5 people are in there couldn't make way for him. So a fantastic driver, just, any car that he drove a number of cars during this era, including his own, I think. He just was always very competitive. He
Yes.
never gave up. He was always up there. You always heard his name. Whatever car he was in, he just had that speed. But again, didn't really bother the scorers that much. So, and that just might have been that he was in mid-tier, like midfield cars all the time. He wasn't really ever in a top team at the right time, I don't think.
Yeah, he made some
But
decisions that were not good.
yeah. So yeah,
He
Dan
left
Gurney.
Brabham just before 66.
That's
And
right.
He was faster than Jack Brabham in 65 and 64. I think it was in 2
Yes.
years. And he probably would have won 66 and 67 championship because he would have blitzed Jack.
Yes, he would have
I think.
blitzed. Exactly. Yep.
But he didn't. So he doesn't make the top
No.
5. But he does make my honourable mentions.
Okay.
Like you.
Good.
So my next one is, it's going to be, the reason's not very great. I've got Phil Hill as an honourable mention for 61 world champion. Just not feeling it. Just not feeling it.
It's like that. He's just not that into you.
Yeah, just the spark's not there.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'd probably agree with you. He didn't even make my honourable mentions.
Oh, wow, that's brutal.
It is.
A champion not even getting an honourable mention.
But I kind of agree with you. And I think it was a shame that year, that accident that happened to Wolfgang von Trips, if we had to go back and fix that so that he didn't have that accident, I would say that Wolfgang would have won that race and that
probably
championship
so.
rather than Phil Hill. Sorry, Phil. Sorry, but yeah, no.
And a little bit sad, his career sort of fizzled out after that too. Everyone sort of knew.
Nothing.
Everyone sort of knew it wasn't really his championship. Everyone sort of knew.
Yes, which is a shame. It breaks my heart to say that because it was in a Ferrari. But, and as we say, he was up there. He was competitive. He was up there. He had a great car. That was the Shark Nose.
Yeah. Which is our logo.
It is our logo, yes.
For those of you that don't know, that's the 61 Ferrari. It's just not red.
Yeah. No. Okay, I've got a couple more. Richie Ginther is in my honourable mentions.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I just felt like he was, again, very competitive and we always mentioned him. We always mentioned him being up there. And again, he was in some experimental cars like the Honda and he did well in them. He did well. And I thought he was deserving of a mention.
Yeah, I'm going to challenge Richie Ginther even getting this. And I think for those of you that don't know, this is a re-record because we lost our first recording. And I had deja vu that I had looked up Richie Ginther and I had to quickly look him up again. I obviously know who he is, but I wanted to challenge his stats. And yeah, he's got one win. I'll give him that out of 52 starts.
Okay.
Three fastest laps. Okay, 14 podiums.
Yeah, 14 podiums is good.
He must have scraped it into your just made it.
Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah. I think he could have deserved it ahead of Phil Hill is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
But he was active,
Yes. Okay. Can I do another one or have you got more?
I've got one more.
Okay, you go.
Get that one out quick. That was my other one, similar to Phil Hill. It's John Surtees, the 64 champion.
Me too. That's mine as well.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. I felt he was better than Phil Hill, but I wasn't quite feeling it either. I think he was a little bit lucky to get that 64 championship. It really should have gone.
Let's face it, that just fell in his lap, really.
And
no one saw that coming.
There's a good driver. He's got the championship, but he doesn't quite get in my top 5, pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. I've left him out as a championship winner of the 60s. He's not in my top 5. And again, he left Ferrari off his own back, really. He got a bit shirty with some decisions they made about Le Mans and stuff, and he left. And again, I think it was a poor decision on his behalf because I think in that year that he left, Ferrari were actually doing okay, but their drivers weren't of the caliber of John Surtees. And if he'd stayed there, I think we both said at the time, I reckon John would have won them a championship if he'd stayed.
Yeah, 66 at least, because he was good at the start of 66 and then he went to Cooper.
Yes, that's right. So, yeah, John Surtees. My last one, and it was just really a joke, and maybe it was just a bit of a bait, was Lorenzo Bandini.
Yes.
But we might just go on to the top 5 now, huh?
That is
I think
funny,
that one,
though.
we don't need any more commentary on that
Yeah,
one.
we've talked enough about 64.
Yeah.
Yeah. 60, for those of you that don't know, 64 is the original 2021 Abu Dhabi. I think there's 3 moments in Formula, maybe 4 or 5. There's 64 Mexico, Adelaide 94, 89 Japan, 90 Japan.
Yes.
And then I think we got to
2021. Yeah.
Abu Dhabi. Yeah, the most controversial moments in Formula One. And most people have forgotten about the 64 one, but I haven't.
Yes.
So, yeah.
No, that's what.
And are there any in the 50s that are as brutal as that? Probably not really, other than
not really
58 when when Moss misread the sign.
Yes,
maybe.
But that wasn't really
not as aggressive.
It wasn't.
You
know? No. I don't think the 50s had that kind of stuff happening.
Yeah, they died if they did.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
And even in the 60s, but less so. But yeah. Okay, so the top 5. Do you want to go with your number 5, Rosa?
Yeah, I'm going to go with my number 5 because you've already spoken about this person and I think he deserved to be in the top 5. It's Denny Holm. That's
so
my
you went
number
for
5.
A boring, reliable number 5. And is that the basic reasons?
Look, consistency was a big thing in the 60s. It's what won you championships. You just had to be there and finish the races on the podiums. I don't know. I didn't look up his stats, Louis, but he would have a huge amount of podium percentage, I would have thought.
Yeah, I'm having deja vu of looking this up too, but yeah, go on.
So I think he deserved to be, and he was a championship winner in a not that great a car. So that was a testament to his consistency and his ability to take that car to the finish line on a podium.
Yeah. He did have 112 races, 33 podiums, 8 wins. It's a lot of wins. He tended to get 1 or 2 wins a year in his career. So yeah,
so and 33 podiums.
I really like Dennis Holm. I'm not anti Dennis Holm.
Yeah.
Anyone listening?
No, this is not anything personal. I love all these drivers.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, that was my number 5. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is a bit controversial, and I know you've left this person out. I think you have. Is Sterling Moss.
What?
He only participated in the 60 and 61 season. And it was always going to be hard to rate him higher than 5th. And even in our TP championship, we gave him the 61 World Championship to go with his 56, 58, and 59 TP World Championship. So he was a 4-time TP World Championship. So he got one in 61. He had a 53.7% retirement rate. So my view is he was an awesome driver that made the most of his machinery. And even in his final F1 season, in the privately entered Lotus, he was so competitive that his win at Monaco, even with his body parts of his car falling apart, was just a reflection of how amazing he was. So I was of the view that if he didn't have that big accident, I think it was in the beginning of 62, before the 62 season started, he would have gone on to bigger and greater things, which is why he's only 5th. But I think he deserved 5th because he was so brutally unlucky. Like Dan Gurney got pushed out in place of Sterling Moss for 5th.
Louis, I agree with everything you said, except he's a driver of the 50s, not the 60s. Like, where would you put it? Nah, 2 years out of 10.
TP. He won 61 TP.
Yeah, we're not basing it on our TP results.
We can base it on whatever we like, thank you.
Oh, sure, okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to put in like I don't agree. I would not be putting Sterling Moss in this list. Like, he definitely makes the list of all time.
Go off at you. The British listeners are going to be very upset with you.
No, I think the British listeners understand that he would make a best of all time list, a best of the 50s list, but not of the 60s.
Well, that's why he's 5th.
Anyway, you do 5th. You. Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll do me. Yeah, okay. Here's your 5 then.
I said it was Denny Holm.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I was so bored. Okay.
Well,
Okay, here we
rude.
go.
But
Rude.
anyway,
Yes. Okay.
all right. Am I doing number 4?
Yeah, you're doing 4 now.
Are you sure? You're all right? You're
Yeah,
awake?
I'm all right. I'm awake.
Okay.
Yes.
Number 4, I have Jackie Stewart.
Wow, that's a big
Yeah.
call.
Well,
The guy
like
who
I
won the
said,
69 championship. Yeah.
again, he started in 68, 66, or sorry, 67 maybe was his first year. When did he start, Louis?
65.
You know, you're the,
Yeah, 65.
whoops. So, and he didn't really do anything until he spent a couple of years just, understudying Graham Hill, I think, in the BRM. Again, I would put him in the 70s. I think that's when Jackie Stewart really shone. And late 60s. Yeah, you're right. He did a few good things in the late 60s. But when I had to fit in who I thought were really iconic drivers of the 60s, he fell into number 4. And he's lucky he's not 5th.
I am so okay. So I have to reveal my position, so I can do this at the same time, I guess. My number 3 is Jackie Stewart, and I'm going to protest very strongly that you said he didn't do much in 65. I'll just explain his first results in 65. 6th, 3rd, 2nd, 5th, 2nd. Retirement, 1st.
Yep.
Those were his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those were his first 8 races. He won his 8th race.
Okay, so that's fine.
I ask you to formally withdraw the statement that he didn't do much in 65.
I did not. Oh, okay. All right. He didn't. I formally withdraw that statement. But when I compare him to my 3, 2, and 1, he does not even come close in the 60s. Like I said, he probably fits into a 70s list higher. He does fit in both lists, unlike Sterling Moss, who does not fit in this list. He probably fits nicely in both 60s and 70s. But yeah, he only just made it to number 4. Who's your number 4?
Well,
if Jackie Stewart's your number 3.
I was going to say Stewart is number 3, but I was going to flag the other thing about Stewart is he did go into the BRM wilderness with that H16, so he was put on pause. He did. So I knew he was put up. But in 69, when he did win the championship, he won with 6 wins. And so I do think that he had an awesome 65, awesome 69, a very strong 68. And
nowhere for 66 and 67. I know he got more
success in the future. Yeah, yes. So I still think he deserved that 3rd. But yeah, you asked my 4th. My 4th was Graham Hill. So
I've got Graham Hill 3rd. So we've switched those two.
We've switched those two. Yeah, so we're pretty close other than 5th where we're so totally different.
Yes.
So Graham Hill, the reason why I had him 4th, 2 championships, primarily on determination and hard work. He's a bit of an unsung hero, funnily enough, like his son Damon. He won Monaco 5 times.
You've unsung him even more.
By putting him 4th. He's in my top 5.
Yeah. This is Mr. Monaco. Mr. Monaco.
He's ahead of Sterling Moss.
Yeah.
I did.
Graham Hill raced for the whole of the 60s, not just 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so he outsmarted Jim Clark a few times when they were coming up against back markers. So he obviously had a bit of a way of reading the grid in their movements. And 64, he pretty much could have won that or should have won that championship. And I want to read out a quote. I will quote the great Luigi Pagnozzi, who said during the 1962 Race Review podcast, so this is a quote from me.
Right.
This season is showing to me that Graham Hill had natural speed and great racecraft. If he can even keep up with and on occasion pass Jim Clark, he is a worthy driver to be really respected as one of the greats. Just thought it was worth mentioning this. So, yeah, I obviously quoted myself then from that episode.
I was going to say, I'm not sure I've ever heard anyone quote themselves, but
yeah,
you can be the first.
I could be the first, yeah.
You could be the first.
And he had the record for the most podiums on F1 that stood until the 1980s. And he retired in 75.
Yes.
And he didn't get any podiums from 70 onwards. So, and he's also the only driver to achieve the Triple Crown, which is the Indy 500, the Monaco F1 and Le Mans. So I probably said a lot of things that you're going to say about Graham Hill, but that's my recap. Well, I said
you've just made my case for why he's number 3 and better than Jackie Stewart in this area, in this era. I reject you making that
using my information
That's just
to
because you're
support
just
your
a
third
Jackie
position.
Stewart fanboy. Oh, anyway. Yes. Well, I have nothing. You've made my case for me. I have nothing more to add to
Yeah, okay.
that apart from he also was a pretty upstanding guy on the track too. So,
And for the very reason, I have to admit, if I was to switch Graham Hill and Jackie Stewart around, I'd have no problems doing that just for the one reason that Graham Hill stopped his own race for that story you told earlier, where
that's
he
right.
helped Jackie Stewart out from being trapped in his own car covered in fuel. I mean, that's a very,
Yes.
very
It is. It's a
giving
very
act.
selfless act. Yes, absolutely.
So I can live
I
with
think you've
that, to
just
be
agreed
honest.
that you're wrong and I'm right. Well, that's what I've
Yeah,
heard just then. So
maybe, yeah.
I feel like we're going to have the same 2 and 1.
I think
So my
so.
number
So
2 is Jack
you should do
Brabham.
number 2 because you love this guy. So yeah.
Yeah. So Jack Brabham made it number 2, not only because of his, I mean, he started off at Cooper in 59 and he took that company to a championship in 59 and 60. And he won those 2 championships. And he was just good at everything he did, this guy. He was like an engineer, designer, driver, team principal, owner. Like he was just everything. Everything he put his hand to, he was just really good at. And I think he deserves number 2 iconic driver of the 60s.
I 100% agree. And we've talked about all the things he's achieved in the earlier parts of this episode, but it was the person that knocked him off, which most people can probably guess. That's what it took to knock him off.
Exactly.
Which is a big testament to Jack Brabham. Like that's
yes.
It took unbelievable, probably the best Formula One driver of all time is the one person that stopped Brabham being top in the 60s.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know that there's much more we can say about Drake. I feel like we've done it, not done him a disservice by being so quick, but it's kind of a no-brainer. Like it's a no-brainer that he's number 2 here.
His name appeared mostly in the achievements or the memories of 60s.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a reason
and
for
even
that.
some of his races where he's pushing his car over the finish line, he's just so many iconic moments that talk to his character and his skill. So
and letting Holm race him fair and square in 67
yeah,
when he could
absolutely.
have played the number 1 card. So many signs of yes, he was known as Dirty Jack because he was edgy, but Black Jack. But I mean, nothing wrong with that because we're here racing. We're not here to be buddies on the track,
Exactly.
And I like to see tough racing as long as it's not driving someone else off the track. That I like that. Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything there. I know that was a bit of a bait for me, Luigi, but I'm not going to take it.
Bait for some fans of some drivers, but I won't take it further.
Okay, so
do you want to do number 1? You can do the honours.
Yeah, number 1 is Jim Clark. Jim Clark has to be the best. I mean, like you say, he probably ends up in the top 3 of best drivers of all time, even if we did it in 2025 today. So it just makes sense that he is the best driver of the 60s. Is in my top 5. He's made number 1. Like again, I mean, a lot of our moments that we spoke of before were Jim Clark amazing feats around his skill and even the way people described his cars after they came off the track. They looked like they hadn't been driven in a Grand Prix. They were just so smooth and he was just an immense talent. So, and we were robbed. I think we were robbed of some future Jim Clark amazing races and like the Jim Clark Jackie Stewart rivalry never really happened. And so I think again it just makes sense that he's number 1.
Yeah, there wasn't even a question mark on this one, was it? It would have been very hard to argue anything else.
Yes.
But when he won the 7 races out of 10 in 63, that sort of stuff just didn't happen in those days.
No.
It just did not happen. So yes, it's happening more in this modern era, like Max winning 19 out of the 22 in 2023. That was an anomaly that we're probably never going to see again. But 7 out of 10 in 63 was off the scale and never got close to it again till Max did it in 23. And even then that was like unbelievable too. So he did it when it was very, very hard to do. should have won more than just 2 championships. Would have been amazing to see two Scottish drivers from a small country fighting it out at the front.
Yes.
And I mean, even when he died, he just beat Fangio's wins record, and then he died. And it was ironically, Stewart took the record from him in the 70s. So, and Stewart looked up to Clark too. So Stewart said Clark was the best of all time. So he died at 32, so young, and he gets our number one easily, even with him passing away, which shows how much more he had on the table.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Yeah,
very
and
sad.
And also the
other,
just one other thing I was just going to mention: the car that he did it with was also an interesting addition to his skill, because it was always right at the edge of innovation, right at the edge, like cutting edge of technology. And, he quite often drove that car while it had issues and problems, and he still drove it to winning positions. So again, just his skill around taking that car to, I mean, it was, obviously there was like the Lotus 49 was amazing, but that was only 1 year. The other cars were not that great, and he still took them to winning.
Well, let's not forget the dog of an engine, the H16. It got a win. It got a win with Jim Clark. I mean, that H16, no one could drive that thing. It was awful. But he got a win out of it.
That's right. Exactly. Yes.
So that just shows how talented he was. Yeah.
Yes.
So very sad that we missed out on seeing him flourish. And I think he would have won more than 5 championships, without a doubt, if it wasn't for his passing. So
absolutely.
That's the 60s.
Well, I think let's leave it there while we agree on something, Louis.
Yeah.
And we can still be friends.
Yes.
But yeah, that was really good to do. It would be interesting to do this now, because I think we did a quick one for the 50s. We didn't really do a separate episode. It's at the end of the 59.
Probably worth doing
episode.
A 50s. I reckon we should do a 50s one. We won't do it for a little while. It's a bit out of order, I know. But top 5 50s, probably easier than the top 5 60s.
I think it will be easier.
We've got Fangio and Ross already in there, locked in.
Yeah,
Ascari.
That's right.
That's 3 of the 5 already locked in.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Hawthorn? Put Hawthorn up there? Don't know.
It was like a Ginther, like he got the championship, a bit Holmish. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, we'll have to do one. Okay, we might leave it there.
Okay, thanks everyone for listening.
Yep. Bye.
Okay, bye.